Welcome to JK'z Rewatchable Hour. I'm your host tonight, George Muzzy. I'm here tonight with as always with J Dubs, and I'm also here with his wife Jennifer Welch. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great, George.
Not too bad.
It's
So
about time to get a host on here who knows what they're doing instead of somebody who doesn't know what.
it's amazing what little things you can do, right? So tonight we're gonna do TV show conspiracy theories. I originally said TV and movies, but there's more about TV shows than there is about movies. Um, so I'm gonna get right into it with the first one. The first one is Scooby Doo. Everybody has seen the cartoon Scooby Doo. The conspiracy theory is that the Scooby Doo gang are Vietnam War draft dodgers.
Oh.
So the debut of Scooby Doo was in 1969. Vietnam War in full swing. Shaggy is a classic hippie, long haired jive talker with a case of the munchies. He goes off grid voluntarily with his Great Dane, and he names the van the Mystery Machine. Fred is a comical, clean cut suburban kid. Has absolutely no reason to leave home, but yet he still does, unless he's dodging the draft. Daphne is Fred's fiance. She decides if he's leaving, I'm running away with him. And Velma is the rebellious anti-war activist that goes along for the ride to protest the war.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, that's
So instead
different.
of going to war, they solve mysteries and crimes?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, see, what I'm thinking is the concept would be there's probably a reward for the people they catch. Where else? Where else are they getting money?
Mm-hmm.
In some episodes, they've stayed in a motel.
They
Sometimes
need gas for the van.
right. They need gas for the van. They need to buy all those Scooby snacks that they're always eating. And let's face it, when they eat, especially Scooby and Shaggy, they don't eat like one burger.
This is interesting.
So yeah, I read that and I was like, wow. And if you think about it, look at the characters. Fred is a clean cut looking guy.
Yep.
Why would he have a reason to just randomly go around the country with no apparent final destination? We don't know where they're going. They're just driving around, solving mysteries.
Yep.
Meet celebrities.
Yeah, meeting celebrities at times. Yes. Yeah, that was interesting and kind of, I guess that would be where Velma fit in. That was the weird thing. I was like, well, where does Velma fit in on this? Because I get it because Daphne, it was never actually said that Daphne and Fred were together, but we kind of all knew they were.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make sense that Daphne went. But I'm like, where does Velma fit in? And then I read it and I'm like, well, she could be an activist that doesn't, a rebellious anti-war activist, maybe she just, and a couple of these, maybe a couple of them were her friends and she's like, I'm just going to tag along to protest the Vietnam War.
I don't think it was ever told how they all became together, right?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was like, maybe, maybe Fred and Shaggy were friends. And that's the other thing. Shaggy. That's obviously not his name. That's a nickname. You never know what his name is, so he's hiding.
Yep.
Call me Shaggy. I'm not the guy you're looking for. I'm Shaggy. Although, how many people run around that have a somewhat talking dog? But yeah, that was, that was one that I found really interesting. Any thoughts on it? I mean,
I think I just said how I felt like, you just watch a cartoon, but you don't really know the entire background. And I don't ever remember, or even the fact that Fred and Daphne were engaged.
yeah, I don't know if they actually were or if they were just, but they're closer than, than like the others. But so I don't think they ever said if they were together or not, but we all figured they were. I mean, every time they broke up into teams, was Fred and Daphne ever broken up as a team? No.
Yeah. No. Interesting.
Yeah. Did they ever introduce their families or anything?
I don't think I've ever seen any of their family.
Yeah.
No,
Scooby's family. I mean, the only family I think we ever seen was Scooby's family. And that was when the little one came in, Scrappy.
Oh, yeah.
Scrappy. but
it's funny because if you think of Scooby Doo, let's see, they met Mama Cass, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
I can't think now, boy.
I know they met like all of the real, like from the old time movies like Dracula and all of them. I'm sure they met the Munsters. I'm sure probably somewhere along the way.
Frankenstein.
So yeah, it was interesting. But then once I thought about it and I started reading it, I'm like, wow, that kind of makes sense. I mean, at the time period, and what really were they doing? Were they really just driving around aimlessly looking to solve crime, to solve mysteries?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who does that? Who does that, right?
We all know Shaggy was a very, very 70s dope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely was a hippie.
Okay, so I was just researching on Google, and it says there's no single explicitly defined hometown for Scooby Doo and the gang. However, the series often implies a setting in the New England or a fictional version of California. So,
okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never remember them saying anything about where they were from. How they got together as a group. The only thing we knew for sure was Scooby was Shaggy's pet. That was the only relationship we knew where it started.
Interesting.
Okay. So that said, I'm gonna move on. Most people have seen or watched something about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The conspiracy behind the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is Will is not alive. The Fresh Prince is actually a ghost or a metaphor for a deceased character's aspirations. Now, let's back up to the theme. I got in a fight. Okay. I begged and pleaded. He's talking about his mom. I begged and pleaded. She packed my suitcase and sent me on my way, gave me a kiss and a ticket, put on my Walkman and said, might as well kick it. Kick it is like slang for kick the bucket. I kicked it. So then you're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Could mean that her aunt and uncle, his aunt and uncle, have already passed away, and he's going to live with them in the afterlife.
Hmm.
And then he says, I jumped into, I whistled for a cab, and when it came near, license plate said fresh and had dice in the mirror. Taxi cab, and it was and he mentions it as a rare taxi cab. And it takes him to his kingdom, was where he can sit on his throne and his new kingdom called Bel Air. So the rare cab could be an angel taking him to his new kingdom, heaven.
Oh,
And just the premise that some of the things that happen in the show are kind of outlandish, and of course aren't most sitcoms that way though. But a lot of the scenarios are so far-fetched that it's like, okay, this could be Will's mind after he passes to goes on to the other side. Maybe he's in, I guess, purgatory before going into heaven, and this is what he's imagining his life would have been if he moved in with his rich aunt and uncle.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what they say, the whole show. But I don't know. I didn't catch any. It didn't show really where there was anything that kind of showed that. This was basically all taken from the opening song.
Okay.
That's where the whole thing where they took it from. They took it from that opening song. That's what it could mean. So I don't know where they went, where they wanted to go with that one, but so the next one, Saved by the Bell.
I was a fan. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the concept in Saved by a Bell is Zach moves to a new town, starts a new school. That's like, the beginning of the show, right? Well, at this new school, he's not all that popular in reality. So he creates a fantasy world. He moves to the new school, not popular, so he creates this fantasy world. Now, there's like 4 things that kind of show you that might be true. How is it that Zach, Screech, Lisa, and Mr. Belden coincidentally all came from Indianapolis and ended up at the same school in California?
Wow.
Coincidence? Or is it him making it up? So the 3 friends at this new school are instantly popular. Are kids instantly popular when they walk in the door of a new school? Not usually. Usually, we have to get to know them. We have to talk with them and find out, what they're into and things like that. So obviously, the same as in all of them, there's over the top plot holes and whatnot, over the top things that are happening. But the weirdest one, Zach can pause and break the 4th wall. He pauses. Everybody else stops moving, and Zach turns and talks to the camera. Almost every episode, at least early on, maybe not later. I don't think they did it later on when they got older.
Oh, right. You're right.
But in the early episodes, everybody would pause except for Zach, and he would look at the camera and talk like he was talking to you or me.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Yeah, that was one I found, and that was all that there was about it. Was that the whole series is his fantasy. It's his fantasy world because he got to his new school and nobody liked him. Like he was popular at the school in Indianapolis, and then when he moved to California, those kids didn't think he was very popular, so they didn't talk to him as much, and unless they had to.
Did it continue on into the college years?
I don't know. It didn't go into that. It just said that when that it was his fantasy world, and maybe later it became reality, but at the time when he got there, at least for the first few seasons, because I don't know when he stopped pausing the show.
Well, so
I don't know when that started.
I mean, if you subscribe to their fan club like I did, no, just kidding. It actually started in like junior high, and then
he's probably not lying right now. He probably did sign up for it.
You still get stuff in the mail.
Junior high, and then it came into the high school, and that's when Slater and the tall girl there, Elizabeth Hurley, or whatever.
Yeah.
He just out of nowhere, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, right? Or was she in the beginning? Because it was Lisa Turtle. It was Lisa Turtle and another.
Jesse.
What's that?
It was Jesse.
Yeah.
Was Jesse always there?
Yeah. That was Elizabeth Berkley.
Okay. Because I just know, like in the beginning, Zach had a friend who coincidentally looked like a young AC Slater, and then they jumped from. Wow, we're really going way into this one, ladies and gentlemen. Junior high to immediately middle school, and here comes AC Slater and Lisa Turtle was still there. Screech was always there, but that one kid was gone, and yeah. Hey, I skipped school a few times or whatever. I don't know. Watch reruns.
Just to watch it, I'm sure. So, where can you stream that, Jeff?
On our TV.
Netflix, Hulu, my phone.
You don't know which one?
Not offhand. I mean,
or you're just not telling us.
I mean, SavedByTheBell.com,
SavedByTheBell.com.
Team Jack, Slater.
He's a licensed subscriber to that one. Okay.
Now I'm just trying to think of the theme song. Fuck. Oh, well, go ahead.
Don't sing it, please. It'll be stuck in our heads. Okay, so the next one I have two. There actually was three. The third one didn't, I don't know. It was weird. Full House. The two conspiracy theories. One is that kind of the same concept of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and a little like Saved by the Bell. The Tanner family was created by the mind of Kimmy Gibbler. Kimmy Gibbler did not have a good home life. So she created this family that she always went and saw, and these are like her hallucinations and her fantasy, where they're always, they always accept her even though she might be a little annoying, which maybe she believes she's annoying because her family doesn't like her. So that's why it would project into her fantasy world. And on the final episode of Full House, or at the end of it, in the theory, Michelle, the youngest, dies in a horse incident and was never, and it was and it's kind of revealed that she was never really part of the family, which the theory says would explain why Michelle was never in the spinoff Fuller House. And apparently, I did not watch Fuller House. I seen clips of it, but I've never watched it. But apparently, in that series, in the finale of that series, Danny Tanner expresses his joy for having his 3 girls together again, and Michelle is not there, but Kimmy is.
Huh.
So yeah, so it's like, that's
Interesting.
yeah. The second theory, which is even better, I've heard this one before. Danny Tanner is not the father of the Tanner children. His high school best friend, Joey Gladstone, is the father. Danny Tanner, dark hair, dark eyes.
Girls, yep.
Joey Gladstone, blonde hair, blue eyes. All the girls, blonde hair, blue eyes.
And it couldn't be Jesse because that was his sister.
Well, I guess it could be, but that'd be gross.
Yeah.
We're not in Alabama anymore. Sorry to our Alabama viewers.
Ding, 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 ding. And I just like to say on Fuller House, it was Lori Laughlin who ruined that. Thanks a lot. I mean, I never watched it, but thanks a lot, Lori. You did it.
How do you know? How do you know she ruined it then? You watched it. Are you part of that fan club too?
Tabloids, because she bribed the college to get her kids in, and she paid them off. So yeah, canceled the show. But anyways, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
People magazine.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I saw that on the news.
What's that?
You've been reading My People?
Sometimes, like years ago when I was, and
okay. I wasn't gonna ask, but I should have. Like, Jeff, where did you get a magazine to read?
It was in the checkout by the Snickers bar.
Now I know that it wasn't yours.
Never buy a People magazine. No, Mad
That's what I'm
magazine.
saying. Like, where would you buy a magazine?
No, I just buy sports magazines, and that's that.
Lots of pictures.
Yep, and I can draw and connect the dots.
Draw and connect the dots. So the third one, I didn't write any of it down, but the third one was apparently in the show Full House, there was a recurring name, a popular name for guests on the show was Steve, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, and that the concept was the theory is that they were time travelers. I read it and I'm like, just because Steve is used, I don't know. Let's say it's used 30 times in the whole series. Just because somebody is named Steve 30 different times means they're time travelers? Okay. Whatever. Didn't get it.
Nope.
Did not get it. How are we on time? We're probably really good because we started a little late.
Yeah, 25 minutes. We got another 15 minutes for this.
Okay. Yeah, we're probably gonna do a couple of them because these ones, unless you guys watched them. Anybody watch The Office?
Yep, I'm watching it right now.
Oh. So
turn your camera.
A fan theory says that Toby is actually a serial killer called the Stratton Strangler.
Okay, wait. So which character is he?
I don't know.
He's the human resources guy, the one that Michael always picked on.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen a few episodes, but I don't know I know my son knows it. He's in the other room. He said it's Toby
Flenderson.
Flenderson. Yeah. And the theory is that he is a serial killer called the Scranton Strangler.
Does he wear glasses and have sideburns?
No.
Okay, that's not him.
Oh, he has glasses. He's got the receding hairline.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was that one. I found that one kind of. I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, because he was on the jury for the Scranton Strangler.
Okay. In the show. Yeah,
Yep.
I did. I saw something about that, and that the reality is that he was the strangler. That's why he wanted to get on the jury. Because did they convict the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted to make sure that the wrong guy got convicted.
And then he attacked him when he went to visit him in prison.
Okay. Yeah. So that was why that conspiracy theory. I didn't necessarily see that particular episode, but I was like, I knew a little bit about it, about the theory, but I was like, there's got to be a connection and why people would think that.
Good
Okay.
job, Jeff.
So, anybody watch Dexter?
No.
I have not either. The concept in that is that he's a mad scientist, and he's either gonna become a serial. Apparently, there's a serial killer that looks like him. He's gonna kill the serial killer and then take his place and become the serial killer. I don't know where it came from. I've never watched it, so I don't know. All right. You said we got like 15 or like 10 now?
Yeah, we got about 10. Yep.
Okay.
For this half. Yep.
I'll do now. I only have basically 3 more conspiracy theories, but I only want to do the first one that has to do with Breaking Bad. Because then I want to do the second one because Breaking Bad will lead into another series. And then I'll do a conspiracy theory about that series.
Okay.
And that's so Walter White in Breaking Bad is Malcolm in the middle. And the reason they say it is because same guy.
Yep.
That's one of them. And it seems like a kid that was Malcolm could grow up and become, linked with drugs and into that. Because if you think about Malcolm in the middle, about all the things he went through, that could push him to doing that. But when he became, obviously, it can't be Malcolm necessarily because they have different names. Well, he probably would have changed his name to hide who he really was. That is, that's that one. Like I said, I don't want to do the next one and link them together because not until after the break. But like I said, the last one I have that I want to talk about, the show that it has to do with, there was like 12 of them, and I didn't write. I was like, we're not doing 12 conspiracy theories about one show. I got a couple minor ones, but I don't think that's a conspiracy theory, but some people call it that. So even though it might be a few minutes early, unless one of you guys have something to say about one of the ones I've mentioned so far.
No, I'm finding them very interesting. What about you, John?
Yeah, but if Kimmy Gibbler wanted to have a fantasy life, why didn't she make her family better? Like, why did she have to do like her friend's family?
I don't know. I don't know the concept behind it. I just know that.
Well, why not?
Yeah, that's what it was. It's like, yeah, why would not make your own family just nicer?
Yep.
If your family was bad, why not at least make your own family nicer? Why have to make your neighbor's family better?
Yep.
And accept you, or whatever.
So, just before we go to break, when I was researching about the whole Scooby Doo, it said a made up town, Coolsville.
Okay.
So yeah, that might have been the made up version of California or whatever, but
Might
uh,
be. Might be.
Yeah.
I just thought like Scooby Doo was just a bunch of friends, and you kind of had the popular one and Fred, and the cheerleader or whatever, and Daphne, and then the Brain and Velma, and then you just had the stoner Shaggy. I mean, there's one of them, and back it just and they met like all the cool people. Like I said, they met the Harlem Globetrotter,
Yeah.
Mama Cass from the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Frankenstein, and yeah, Mr. T. I think I don't know.
Probably. But like I said, that was what the theory was that they weren't just randomly driving around the country because where were they going?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know where they were going? They were just driving around so they didn't.
Solve
So the two
crime.
boys. So that to solve crime. Yeah, because people do that all the time. I mean, we're looking for a van right now, right? Quit our jobs and go driving around the country solving crime
And
Yeah,
our red
absolutely.
shirts.
in our red shirts.
Yeah, okay, so I'll take us to the break on this one. So what had happened, ladies and gentlemen, our listeners, is I had one of our newer shirts, and we go to get on camera, and there's George and Jen wearing red. So I did not want to feel left out. So I went in and I joined them, and that's why we're all in red today, because I just didn't want to be left out.
All right. Welcome back. We're talking about TV conspiracy theories. So I have one from Breaking Bad that's going to take us into another series. This is going to link Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. In Breaking Bad, Walter White develops a new form of meth. It's called blue sky meth. Now, the conspiracy is that the blue sky meth directly caused the zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead. Now, in I don't know if it's the first season because I don't remember when the first season of The Walking Dead ended. Did that end at the CDC when they left or not? I don't know. But I think it was early season 2. They're on the highway and they run into the jam up of vehicles on the highway, and the RV is overheating again. So they stop on the highway. And Sophia goes missing. When they're out looking for Sophia, T-Dog cuts his arm on a piece of metal. Actually, he does that before Sophia disappears. But apparently his arm got infected. And Daryl comes back and he says, "Oh, why didn't you guys tell me?" He goes over to his motorcycle and takes out this bag of Merle's stash, medical stash. They say that in that bag, in that big bag, there's a little bag of blue sky. It was a material like wrapped in white paper or something, but it almost looked blue through the paper, is what they're saying. And they believe that was Walter White's blue sky meth.
No.
So they linked it together there. So there's a few other connections that they come up with, but that was the most significant one, was that the blue sky meth created the zombie apocalypse.
That was in season 1 or season 2, because I started watching it when they around the prison time.
Oh, that was before. This was before that. Before they made it to the prison, they were on Herschel's farm.
Yes.
Yeah. This was right before Herschel's farm.
Okay.
They were on the highway, I believe, heading to Fort Benning, I believe. And there's a lot of vehicles on the interstate, so they had to stop.
Yep.
Remember when the farm burnt down?
Vaguely.
Okay, that was like when they left the farm, when the farm was burning, and they all met on the highway. That's where this scene took place.
You
Was
got
on
that,
the
John?
highway, but it was just earlier. It was like a season earlier or so. Yeah.
We're gonna
So
watch.
okay. So now the one theory I'm gonna do two Walking Dead theories. One is just a minor one. Do you know how Carl's hair kept growing? It was long and was kind of. The theory is the reason he did that, he wouldn't let anybody cut his hair because his mother was the last one to cut his hair, and she died. So he wasn't going to let anybody else cut his hair. Was the idea? I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory, but it said it was a conspiracy theory. I'm like, okay, maybe it was just him being sentimental. The biggest conspiracy theory that I read and I was like, okay, this is very interesting. In the first episode, Rick and Shane are in a shootout, basically. Not in the first scene of the show, but one of the first scenes. They're in a shootout with an escaped convict. Rick gets shot, taken to the hospital, is in a coma. And then Rick wakes up from the coma, and then you skip. Then it skips until he wakes up from the coma. The conspiracy theory is he never wakes up from the coma. His mind creates the entire Walking Dead universe with all the walkers. All of the people that he meets are people either that he already knows or specialists and whatnot that have come into the room into his hospital room to try to help him. And the idea was is the final episode, he was going to wake up from the coma, his wife, Lori, and his son and daughter, because apparently his wife was pregnant when he got shot and he didn't know it yet. He wasn't informed that she was pregnant yet. Shane is, of course, there because that's his best friend, one of his best friends. Negan is there. Negan is a close friend of his, even though they hated each other in the series. And Herschel is his doctor. Even though he was a veterinarian in the show, Herschel was one of his doctors. And probably, I don't remember what girl they claim is one of his nurses. Maybe Carol, because she did medical stuff and whatnot. But that's the idea, is that kind of like, I guess you could say, kind of like Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay.
Or he gets knocked out, goes to Oz, comes back, and when she wakes up, everybody that was in Oz is in her bedroom. So not everybody, obviously, not all the little munchkins weren't there, but the main characters, the lion, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the wizard. The wizard was like the doctor, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they were all there in her room. So same concept is that he wakes up from the coma and the zombie apocalypse never happened. So everybody he lost or whatnot. It was just, I found it interesting. I'm like, okay, that would have been neat, but they obviously had to change that because the actor that plays, Andrew Lincoln decided, because he's from another country, every time he got time off and go home, his kids were in school, so he didn't get to see him that much anyway. So he said,
Right.
okay, I gotta go home. So
Yeah.
that's why he left the series.
Yeah, and the last episode that Jen and I watched was where they were in the subway, and who's the girl there? She came back after a while.
Maggie.
Maggie, yep. And remember, Jen, he went back to get her, then he left her, but we just never watched it after that. Was that COVID?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was around COVID time.
You just stopped.
Yeah. That would make sense. They were filming that around COVID time because they did like 6 like bonus episodes they weren't planning on doing
Right,
because it was easier to do those episodes because they didn't use as many actors.
right.
Yeah. Like they basically did a backstory of Negan, how he got to started on not quite to where he got to where he was, but where he went from as a before the apocalypse until he turned evil for a while.
I saw that.
The weird thing about Negan and Maggie is obviously in the show they hate each other because Negan killed Glenn.
Right. And,
Yeah. But the weirdest thing, the movie, I probably get it backwards. Is it Batman versus Superman, or is it Superman versus Batman? Whatever, whichever one it is, the Dawn of Justice is what it is what the name is. Anyway, I had always assumed, I never saw it at a theater. I saw it at home. Apparently, I always missed the opening scene. Like maybe I was doing something outside or something, and they'd start watching it, and I'd come in and I would see the bats flying, but I would see words across the screen. So I'm like, oh, good. So you see the bats flying and whatnot out of and he's down in like the young Bruce Wayne is down in the pit or whatever, wherever he fell into the cave, and the bats are flying out. Okay, no big deal. Then finally one day it started, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? This isn't the opening scene. I've seen this movie several times. Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Wayne are Maggie and Negan.
Oh,
Kristen Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Morgan, yep.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah. Yeah, that's who plays Bruce and Martha Wayne
That's
in the opening scene. Yeah, I was like, okay. But they've done, after Walking Dead, they're doing a Walking Dead series where they're two of the main characters. It's Dead City.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they just did season 2. I haven't watched season 2 yet, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Daryl season 3 to come out.
I always liked Daryl. He was one of my I liked him.
Daryl was kind of the character that got me into watching the show, because I'm like, well, he's funny, but yet he's, straightforward and whatnot. You pretty much know where he stands. But apparently, he was only supposed to be a part-time character.
No, Norman Reedus.
Well, he's not in the comic.
Okay.
The Dixon brothers are not in the comic at all. But apparently Norman Reedus, when he tried out or whatever, made such a good impression that they created a character for him, but he wasn't going to be there that long. And then fans fell in love with the Daryl character, that they actually started like an online petition, and the petition was called "If Daryl Dies, We Riot." So basically, they were saying, if you kill off Daryl, we're going to stop watching.
Word.
Because they lost, and it worked out for a lot of people because later, when Carl died, they lost a lot of viewers when Carl died.
Yeah. And that usually hits.
Yeah. Now, originally, Carl was supposed to make it to the end, but he wanted, I believe he wanted to go to college. The actor wanted to go to college. He's like, I want to go to school. He was getting to that age to where it's time to go to school. So that's why they killed him. But that's a different show. I don't want to get into too much of the differences because there's a lot of things that happen in the comics that happens in the show, but because of the show killed somebody off or somebody else did what that person in the comics did. Like the show, it happened, the big event happened, but maybe it was a different character that it happened to.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and obviously there's some characters in the shows that weren't in the comic, but you need more characters for a show. I mean, well, I guess you don't, but yeah, so I don't want to get into that. All right. I didn't do any other conspiracy theories, so we could just fill in with whatever, or if we could talk about any of the ones we heard tonight.
Jen, do you have anything? Because I did think of one, but I'm.
There you go.
Okay. So when it was suggested a TV movie, I instantly thought of one of the most infamous ones, and Three Men and a Baby, right? Tom Selleck, Steve Guttenberg, and somebody else. It don't matter, right? So
Mustache.
yeah, who?
He said Tom Selleck, Tom
Ted
Selleck,
Danson.
Steve Guttenberg, and
Ted
my
Danson.
God.
Okay, so if you guys are familiar, I would research. Okay, so the camera. So I think it's Ted Danson in the kitchen with his mom or a mom, right? One of the guy's mom. The camera goes this way, right? And then it pans and you see what appears to be a dead child. And the conspiracy theories went through the roof. I highly recommend you research it because if you've never seen it, it will. I'm telling you, it'll make you go like that. Should I give away the spoiler or should I not?
Give it away. Tell us.
So what? It's not really a ghost. What had happened is we all know TV shows, music, movies, they splice shit together. So this particular take, when they went this way, they had taken the film from this part and spliced it together, and that was a prop that was in that window. But if you watch it without knowing, you're like, wait a minute, hold up, because you can see it clear as day, and it's really eerie looking. Yeah, and it's like I said, so the camera pans this way, nothing. And then it goes back this way, and he's right there. And it looks like the kid is looking like this. It's freaky, really freaky, really. But yeah, so
yeah. I think I'd heard something about that, but I didn't really know what it was. And I didn't see that when I looked it up. But when I looked up, maybe it wasn't one of the top ones.
No, but well, yeah, because it's been debunked. But everybody can go on Google and find out. Jen, did you have any? I mean, I don't. I'm not sure on conspiracy theories. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You know, like I mean, I remember one of the conspiracy theories for the movies was The Crow, where Brandon Brandon Lee, which is Bruce Lee's son, who died on the set, you know, that was a conspiracy theory that the stunt went too far on purpose. But
right.
analogy was just like, you know, it was the stunt that they were Yeah.
I had heard the conspiracy theory that, and I don't know where I heard it, was that Brandon Lee set up that because his father died on set.
Yeah.
So he wanted to follow literally in his father's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that's kind of weird to do, to fan your own death, but I don't know. Obviously, it's probably not true, but that's one. I don't know where I saw that, but that was a while ago. Obviously, I mean that was what 20, 30. That was what 30, 35 years ago or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, probably 30, at least 30 years ago. But,
Right.
but yeah, I guess Bruce Lee. I don't know if he died on set or if he died from injuries from a movie.
It was during the filming of The Crow, and you're right, it was a stunt that he had set up.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
like they were practicing or if they were filming or something like that, but
Yeah.
we might have to do a part two of this because I don't want to get into it now, only because we would all have to make a list. But Jen, I think you and I watched the documentary, and again, I'm not saying anybody's guilty, but wasn't it the where all the teenage kids were on this show and the director was abusing them and like
Oh yeah.
and which is really funny because the
Was it
director
just one show or was it a network?
was the network, and because
Yeah.
remember and I hate to say it like this, but so there was a popular black kid on the show, but the director wanted to humiliate him and he made him cover himself in peanut butter. You remember us watching this documentary, Jen?
I think so, yeah.
I saw part of it. Yeah.
The Vines and all that. I don't know if I said her name right, but they were all.
Yeah.
So the director of this series, and I can't think of what the name is. As you can tell, I'm the least on. I'm not prepared on the show. He actually played in a sitcom long ago where it was called Head of the Class.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You got that one?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
and he was obviously the chubby kid, or the chubby kid who had all the smart remarks. And there was this 13-year-old. She was a genius, and then there was this juvenile delinquent. But the show was really popular. It was him, and there was a bunch of, I guess I just want to say sexual innuendos are going on, and
Right. Yeah, I know. I know what you were talking about because one of them. There was several of them of the young actors that came forward, and some of them actually got out of acting because of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of what was going on.
What was something Amanda? I can't,
Amanda Bynes.
yeah, did I say her name right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember,
Yeah.
Jen, the parents would come to the set and they were barred from it, and they were like, we don't, the parents will cause, the kids not to perform correctly, and then they found out what was going on,
Right.
but that's a whole nother episode or four.
Yeah, we can come up with definitely another one.
Yeah, because I heard stories of, like I had I'll just take a few minutes. I had a talk with a coworker. I think it was the last year about the way black men are portrayed in a lot of TV shows and movies, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Take a look at Terry Crews, right? You know how big Terry Crews is, right?
Right.
You know who,
right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what movie, but he wanted the part, but he had to wear a dress. And he was blackballed into saying, or into doing, this is what my friend at work was telling me, that they have to do it or they're going to get blackballed. And that is people in Hollywood's way of humiliating certain individuals, and
Right.
I mean, I looked into it, and I'll have to look into the movie, and I'm like, holy shit, why would Terry Crews, who is what, 6'6", solid muscle, right? You know, and I guess if you want to be famous, you know, I guess, but you know, there's a video, and I think I had told Jen or somebody, of Justin Bieber and Odell Beckham at a Diddy party. Was it you, Jen, that I told? Yeah. And
Yeah.
just to keep it PG here, the theory is, Diddy at his parties, Justin Bieber got passed around, and there was a quick video at like a club where it appeared that Justin Bieber was giving oral sex to Odell Beckham Jr. You didn't see it, but he's not old enough to be in a club. But anyways, I mean, that's some of the stuff that I was thinking that obviously, you know, not it doesn't coincide with your TV shows, but you know, we can make a whole nother thing on that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
I do believe Hollywood is very, very, very corrupt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, basically, if you want an actor and you want them to do certain things and they won't, you will just, you know, obviously you're going to find somebody else, and that's just how it is. And you won't ever call that actor back again for another role because they wouldn't do what you wanted them to do. So
I think that might be a good show to, because like I said, I remember Jen and I don't know why we were just watching it, and it was something
it
kid.
was it was on like it was probably on the ID channel.
Spike
Yeah.
I think we saw it. It was like it might have been like 48 Hours or Dateline or one of them talk shows, and they rerun it on the ID channel.
Yeah.
And they were just talking about some of the stuff that, you know,
and you were probably watching the show before it and didn't want to change it after, and
but
been there, done that.
I'm actually very interested in I think tomorrow I'm gonna look up some more of that Scooby Doo, because you know it's funny, you know, you just say, you know, Scooby Doo or this or that, and you're like, wait a minute, really, where did they come from? You know, like what were they? You're right, obviously back then.
Well, and like I said, the debut was in 1969.
Yep.
Vietnam War going at, you know, in full tilt, you know. What would a hippie and a prep and the two girls be doing? Riding around in the van.
Absolutely. You know, because also back then, and this is why I'm interested in looking out more, or looking up more, is, you know, there was a time when people made songs to pass the message, you know?
Right.
Like,
right.
Listen to Tambourine Man.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested in I don't know, I just we everybody who's listening or watches this video, like, wait a minute, I've watched Scooby Doo, motherfucker. Why did you do that? Where were they going in a van, you know? And you know, talk about like 4 individuals and a dog that don't go together. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. The only two in I don't want to say it this way, but I'm gonna stereotypically, you look at the 4 of them, there's only 2 of them that sort of go together. Fred and Daphne, right?
Yep.
He's the prep, she's the whatever, you know, the cheerleader or whatever. They kind of go together. The rest are just kind of, you know, it's like the hippie and his dog, and I guess you'd call her the nerd. Is that what they would call him back then? You know, that's probably what she would have been. They don't go together, but yet here they are riding around in a van.
It was called the Mystery Machine, right? Hold on, we got about 10 minutes, but I want to see something. The Mystery, MYSTRY, Mystery Machine. Isn't there a flower power? Yes, there is.
Probably.
There is. I know. I don't know if you guys see it, but there's all the way around. So, George, you're on this show. You and Eric are the vehicle guys.
Okay.
What is that like a Volkswagen that used to drive around all the
It
time?
might have been, that may have been what it was trying to portray. Was the old Volkswagen van, which a lot of hippies drove.
Yeah.
Um, because they were fairly cheap. They got good gas mileage. And let's face it, if you were a hippie, you didn't have a regular everyday job. You kind of needed to save money wherever you could. So,
Um. So I'm just thinking, like, thinking about it. Could that be what it was based off of? I'm very, very interested because
I
you're
don't
right.
know.
Right at the height of the Vietnam War, everybody was like, peace, love, war, and flower
Yeah.
power. Yeah.
And there were a lot of people that were doing whatever they could to not go to Vietnam.
Yep.
I mean, look, they just had, they had a concert up here in upstate New York to protest the whole war.
Hmm.
I don't know. It lasted days, didn't it? Woodstock.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was a bunch of hippies hanging out, not wanting to go to fight a war.
Yep. I don't know. That's very, very interesting. We got about 9 more minutes. But I'm gonna really find out more if this is really, because we all know, like, there's subliminal messages or whatever they're called, the little, what do you, I don't know how they're called, but you always see them like in Easter eggs is what they're called.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah.
George, I think you stumbled upon something pretty good here. So
There's there are a lot of shows that have little Easter eggs and whatnot. I mean, they kind of link them, whether just linking them to another show or whether it's just a nod to somebody that that they like.
yep. With that being said, you ever watch Tommy Boy?
Mhm.
I've seen it. It was a long time ago, but I've seen it.
You remember Dan Aykroyd? He was Callahan, or he was working for in another movie with Adam Sandler right after. Oh, who the actor there? He died. He played Tommy Boy. I can't think of him.
Chris
Yeah,
Farley.
yeah. Yes, Chris Farley.
Probably. Yep. Good job, guys. Dan Aykroyd once again in another Adam Sandler movie said Callahan Auto Parts or whatever in regards to Chris Farley. So yes, I do believe that's why they do certain things. Absolutely.
Yeah, once in a while you will see like the name of a company in a different movie that like pokes back to another movie, and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes you have to look pretty closely, but actually, I don't remember. I don't remember what movie it was because I had mentioned Batman versus Superman a little while ago. I don't remember what movie, but apparently in another movie before Batman versus Superman come out, you saw like a billboard, like in New York City or something, and it showed what looked to be the symbol for Batman versus Superman. Like it was a prelude to an upcoming movie. But the movie had nothing to do with Batman or Superman that it was in. I don't remember what movie it was in, but I remember they showed it.
No.
Things like that. It's just you have to look to really know.
So one of the things that I do at the end of a movie, even if we don't go to the movies a lot, but I always wait till after the credits.
You never know because you might cut something might come on later.
You remember Bad Boys 3, Jen? Remember after they got his Will's son and they locked him up? After the credits or somewhere in between the credits, you see Will Smith walking in to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Which went on to be Bad Boys 4. So there's always something that you miss. So I don't care. I will watch all the credits. I don't care if it's 10 minutes long. I'll sit there and be like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you always have to watch it because The good thing is when you're streaming it now, if there's something after the credits, it'll keep playing. If it doesn't, the credits will go small up in the
Mhm.
corner, and it'll
yeah.
show what you could watch next. Then you know nothing's going to happen up here.
Yeah.
If it shrunk down and moved up, you know nothing's going to happen up here, so you can start watching your next thing. But if it stays big, you're like something could happen.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
So, George, this was an excellent topic. I had no idea that I was going to be so intrigued by some of the stuff that you said, especially the Scooby Doo. And Jen, we got to watch that. We got to find that episode of The Walking Dead. I mean, we probably should just start from the beginning, but anyways, we got to find that episode. I know, right? But just our weekend plans. Cancel football. We don't have to do nothing. Cancel going to get the cat. We're gonna watch.
Right. Right. You're gonna have to cancel a lot of stuff. You're gonna watch it straight through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's opening day. Hell no. Let's go.
I mean, we're talking 11 seasons.
Nope, not doing it. Nope. Maybe. I don't know. This winter. But no, George, this was very interesting. I very much enjoyed it. Jen, what do you think?
Yeah, it was good. Interesting. Made you think.
Yeah. I came up with, I'd seen one of the ones that I mentioned, I saw somewhere, and that's what made me think of it. I'm like, there's got to be like more. I mean, so I just looked it up. Conspiracy theories, television show conspiracy theories, and like the top 7 or 8 came up, and I'm like, wow. And there was a lot more. Like I said, there was like 12 for The Walking Dead alone. Several for a few other shows too. The time traveler one was kind of weird. I was like, I don't know. You'll have to look that up, but it's Full House conspiracy theories, and then you'll see the Steve thing. I'm like, okay, just a bunch of dudes named Steve, but whatever.
So George, seeing how you are currently the host, because my fat always gets in the way of trying to do everything. Go ahead and take us out, sir.
Okay. This has been JK'z Rewatchable Hour. We did TV conspiracy theories. And it sounds like we're gonna expand on it at a later date. Thank you for joining. Hope everybody likes what they saw tonight.
I enjoyed